Hello, good morning. Welcome to, I was going to say Atrocious Gameplay. This is the Metapod, the Pokemon TCG podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. It should be illegal for Sean to make me wake up this early on Tuesday morning to record the podcast, even though I suggested the time. Sean, happy Pride Month. It's the best time of the year. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Pride Month. And I mean, you're up this early anyways, always, because of streaming, right?
Yeah. This is around we're recording like 7:30 a.m. This is around the usual time that I'm like waking up to get ready.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like take a shower, eat some breakfast, brush my teeth, that kind of thing.
I will say, if any of y'all are listening to this the day it comes out, this will be hot off the presses. Like, I'm gonna finish recording and then like go straight into editing and upload.
Yeah, this will be like one of the only times that we've ever done like a Tuesday podcast for Tuesday release.
And you know what's frustrating, Jake? They didn't release any more. Usually we record on Monday, we release on Tuesday, and there's always news that drops in between like when we record and when we release. And
and then we're like 6 days late. Like one of our first topics that we'll talk about was posted 6 days ago. This is like literally like a couple hours after we release. Sometimes I think about it as like, before I post this on YouTube, sometimes like when that happens, I think about it, I'm like, should I just record like a little segment of myself just like talking about like this XYZ?
Like, I feel like one day the Pokemon Company is going to be like, tournament play resumes, but they'll like announce it on a Tuesday afternoon, and we're gonna look
Tuesday
like
at like 3 p.m. and I'm like, Pokemon,
thanks.
Come on.
Thanks, Pokemon. Come on, Pokemon. Don't you listen to Metapod? Don't you know when our recording schedule is at this point?
Yeah, don't you want to pair with me and be friends with me and send me Chilling Rain product, which there's still time.
There's always time.
There's always time. But anyways, we got a lot of great stuff to talk to you about today. We got Eevee Heroes on the docket. We got stuff after Chilling Rain and on Chilling Rain. And then we'll talk about a little bit more of some combos.
Some Wombo
Sneak
combos.
Preview. Some Wombo combos.
Jake, do you want to pull up the review for this week? This is an ambush. We didn't discuss this briefly beforehand.
My God.
Ambush.
Yeah,
ambush
I
review.
can pull up the review. Oh no. This is literally the moment in TikTok where they're like, "Oh no. Oh no." And it's just me not having the review
While
ready.
you look for this, Jake, I will stall by asking, have you seen the Bo Burnham special on Netflix?
No, I don't have Netflix.
Well, get it. And I mean, find a friend who has it. I don't know. Steal someone's password, like every red-blooded American, steal someone else's Netflix password and watch it. It's very good. Any of the listeners too. Bo Burnham's Inside. It's very good.
I know Bo Burnham, and I've listened to some of his stuff, and Bo Burnham is incredible.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen that one specifically.
He perfectly encapsulates the pandemic. Anyways.
I think I have our 5-star review, Sean.
Shoot.
I only see a chunk of the title. It says, the highlight is the prof. And then it goes ... because like iPhone is dumb. But Important Ninja 537. I was shopping around for a PTCG podcast since Battle Styles will be out soon. I mean, it's been out. But this review is also from March 10th because, man, there was a lot of reviews that one time that we asked for them. It's only taken one episode to know that I'll love the Metapod. Incredible name, by the way. All Sean's idea. From other work that Jake does, I know he does work in sports media, but I don't know if he's actually done game commentary. He knows exactly how to pump energy into the podcast segments, knows how to utilize a fluctuating tone rather than a monotone like some of the other PTCG podcasts. The mic sounds fantastic, and you can hear the amount of love and care that goes into the hobby from both of them. Jake and Sean's chemistry also makes this so listenable. Can't wait to hear more as it says Battle Styles, but I'm going to say Chilling Rain. Chilling Rain starts rolling out.
That was some love for you there, Jake.
Yeah, that was the you, Sean. That was a shout out. I mean, wow, I'm bleeping that out. Sean, can we bleep that out in the recording?
I mean,
Holy moly.
Maybe I'll remember. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to label this as
I don't know what just came over me, Sean.
profanity.
I'm
You
going to
just
be honest.
it's 7:30 a.m. and Jake came ready to fight.
I don't know what just came over me. Anyways, I do have background in sports commentary. Before I was in sports media, I was actually commentating for football, basketball, baseball, softball, swimming, lacrosse. I feel like there were other sports, but it was, either way, I used to commentate sports. So like, I do have a little bit of voice acting experience. I literally took voice acting classes
Hey,
several years
did you
ago.
learn the IPA,
Say the what?
the International Phonetic Alphabet?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not that smart, Sean. I'm just a
Okay.
little smart. I know how to get by. I don't know how to pass the exam.
I don't know if I went to school for theater, and so yeah, I had a lot of vocal training, including learning the IPA.
Yeah, I didn't have to learn that. I just had to learn what a touchdown was.
Tut. All right. Do you want to get into those Eevee Heroes secret rares now?
Yes.
So everyone can watch and look at some prettier things in our faces for a little bit.
Yeah, because I don't want to see Sean's ugly mug. And I'm just kidding. Wow, I'm really aggressive this morning.
Savage.
Anyways, 6 days ago, as soon as we had posted last week's podcast, Eevee Heroes Secret Rares came dropping away because they had released. They released on Friday, so usually several days earlier, people start releasing the secret rares and whatnot. And absolutely gorgeous. You see the secret rares of, full art of the EVVs. You see alternate arts for, I believe, every single EVV,
Yep.
which is a lot of alternate arts and a lot of secrets. And then not only that, you've got some of the VMAXs getting alternate arts as well and rainbow rares. So, and then you've got you've got your golden Pokemon, the Inteleon, you got your G Fuel can, or G Fuel chug.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called. Got Turffield Stadium is making a comeback. It is going to be the Gold Stadium. Gold Stadiums are back on their way. I actually kind of like the idea of the Gold Stadiums coming back. It's kind of cool. It's different, And then Dark Energy. Dark Energy is getting a gold shiny reprint, and Sean is now forbidden from Poke Beach. If you're watching this on YouTube, never look into it again.
When I clicked into the image, it just like loaded a new page that wasn't click backable, and I was like, "Well, okay, cool, love it."
Maybe that's one of those things where like a precaution, so nobody just copy and paste their website or something like that. Maybe I don't know.
So we're looking at the images now on YouTube, by the way, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, what? I mean, all of these alternate arts. I'm talking about the alternate arts, especially. The full arts are nice. Don't get me wrong. I love the Sword and Shield style full art, but the alternate arts here are absolutely.
They're just phenomenal.
Oh my gosh! When the Eevee Hero set was already hyped before these secret rares were revealed, and I can't imagine that hype dying down after seeing these.
I mean, this set has 101 cards total. 69 plus 32 is quick math. 101, I think.
It is.
69 of them are regular cards. 32 are secret rares. In a Japanese set, that's huge. Yeah. That's gigantic.
Well, you only get one secret rare per box typically, right?
Yeah, you usually only get one secret rare per box. Sometimes you get none, sometimes you get two.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, a full art V is considered a secret rare in Japan. Yeah. I know people who maybe aren't familiar with Japanese cards might not know that, but a full art V. So like the Leafeon with the oranges and the whatnot, this first card right here, that's a secret rare. So if you pull that in your box, don't count on getting anything else.
I'm just like, I mean, normally we don't do covers just on specific secret rares, but these are just so beautiful. What is your favorite, Jake? Do you have like a favorite of these that you're looking at here?
I would have to say, like, outside of the Eevee hero or out in the Eevees themselves, I'm really into the Umbreon arts.
Yeah.
Umbreon is not my favorite evolution. But like that Umbreon V alternate art is just gorgeous. That single strike Pokemon. Umbreon is just towering over a whole bunch of Pokemon like in an alley and whatnot. And then if you look at its VMAX alternate, just a beautiful, beautiful like Umbreon on a building trying to reach the moon, and holy moly, it's just a beautiful set of cards. But I actually also really like Aroma Lady, the one of the two full art trainers in the set. Aroma Lady is going to be an expensive card. It's a very good looking card. I mean, the character is super cute. So like just the colors on that card really pop. The pinks,
Mhm.
like the different levels of pinks on that card, and the little touches of yellow from the petals.
Yeah.
And then the blue background is just stunning. So I'm really man, I didn't even try to get any of the set. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try. It doesn't feel like I don't think I would have gotten it. Even if I knew someone in Japan, I don't even know if I would have won the lottery to be able to get this.
I mean, I did order for myself like 2 boxes off of eBay, but I have no idea. I
What?
have no idea if they're gonna actually ship, to be frank.
What did you pay for him, if you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking?
I think I paid like 125 a box, which for a Japanese box is crazy expensive.
That's like literally double.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally double.
But that's like their going rate for these boxes right now. Like I didn't get a deal
No,
on
I'm
it.
not saying that. I'm not saying that you paid a
Oh
bad
yeah,
price.
no, it's
I'm
but it's
just telling
crazy
people
expensive.
that that's double. It's like
Yeah.
$65 usually.
And I think what I'm gonna do is like I might open one and just like I don't really collect a ton of sealed product. I want to, but I don't have self control. But I might just keep one sealed because this is one of those Japanese sets that I think, you know, there's just so much love for the evolution lines,
Mhm.
and I can't see this one not holding its value over time. You know, like some sets
Yeah.
are like, ah, that's fine, it's cool, it's an old, and it only goes up because it's old. But this
Yeah.
set, yeah.
I wonder how like so we assume that this is gonna be in like Evolving Skies. I wonder if like if they print the crap out of Evolving Skies, if it really like tanks EV Heroes
Uh,
in terms of value. Like you'd be able to find in August, like after Evolving Skies releases and they print just a ton of product for it, like you'd be able to find EV Heroes for under $100.
The reason I don't think that Eevee Heroes would be going down at any point is because Eevee Heroes is a uniquely themed set. Like Evolving Skies is just kind of
Yeah, that's true.
it's going to be like Rayquaza, it's going to be Eevee, it's going to be a bunch of things kind of all mishmash. Whereas like from a Japanese set, the box art as well on Eevee Heroes is also just gorgeous. And so I do think that because it's so well encapsulated thematically, I just think that it holds its value. And also, you know, SM Pratt and others say like some people are just also just Japanese collectors. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's not really any way to compete against that.
It's just crazy. These cards are absolutely beautiful. Like who
I
who
know.
at the Pokemon Company thought it was a good idea to make these cards so pretty? You
Yeah.
should get a raise because you obviously made Pokemon Company a lot of money.
Oh, Jake, do you want to talk about some more, to be frank, slightly less pretty cards, but also cool?
Yeah, let's talk about the Chilling Rain. We've been excited about Chilling Rain. It's right around the corner. We've been talking about a couple things last couple weeks of the podcast. This the other day, I think this was 2 days ago. The promos, the pre-release promos for the Chilling Rain pre-releases came out on Burbank, I believe it was first to drop, or at least that's where I saw it first.
Hmm.
But you got Sean, Cinderace, and Teleon, Chris Celion, and Passimian of Chilling Rain making their debut almost. Debut, maybe. Cresselia definitely making a
Cresselia, for
debut.
sure. Yeah.
But Sean, how do you feel about these promos? Just
Uh,
like out of everything, playability, looks,
it's
like selection.
I think it's interesting. I think the obvious one, there's two cards here that I think will be very playable. That I dare say they're not going to be the level of Jirachi. I don't think we've had a Jirachi level promo in a while. Obviously, since Jirachi, probably. But the
Yeah.
first one that starts to come close is going to be Cresselia. Um, and that's because it's basically, like we talked about this before, it's Volcanion, but psychic. And like the Volcanion from Unbroken Bonds, that one had a promo in Unbroken Bonds pre-release. And so they're just giving Cresselia the same treatment. So yeah, I think this one is going to be a very playable card in a bunch of decks because it supports the entire psychic lineup. And so I think psychic type, they've clearly like set psychic type up to be the fire type of the Sword and Shield, of the post Sword and Shield era.
Mhm.
Meaning like there's going to be a whole range of decks that use Cresselia. And it's also, it doesn't have to be psychic type, you know, like Volcanion, you could attach fire energy to any type. Same thing with Cresselia. It's just psychic energy to any type. So you could see there being like psychic boxes and all of that. So I think Cresselia is going to see a lot of play. And then Bassimian, I think, is going to see a lot of play, especially once, so Chilling Reign. And if there are any, I think there should be some Rapid Strike Pokemon in Evolving Skies potentially. So the ability to do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon. Granted, you only need one. So this one, like, you don't have to go buy a play set of Passimians. It's kind of pointless. So, but yeah, I think Passimian is also going to be really popular. The other two, you know, they're the starters evolutions, two of the starter evolutions from...
Or Rillaboom. Cresselia,
Yeah.
my favorite third Galerion starter.
I mean, I guess what would you print for Rillaboom, right? Rillaboom has an energy acceleration dude.
I don't know. I mean, just think of something. I mean, I don't know. I do think it's kind of weird though that they picked 2 Rapid Strike Pokemon and 1 Single Strike Pokemon. I mean, I like that Cresselia is in this mix, but like, it maybe it would have been better in battle styles to have like a 2/2 Single Strike Rapid Strike, and maybe this set it doesn't really matter too much, but like, I'm excited to see Inteleon. I know Inteleon has been everywhere in Japan, that little baby guy.
Yeah.
So I really think it may not be great. It may not be great, but I think it's going to be seen around. I think since we have like Scoop Up Net, especially in the format, that this has some effect. This has some effect.
Maybe but it's just a once during your turn, so it's not even when you evolve, which I actually like that it's not when you evolve.
Yeah, but think about this: Decidueye. Decidueye GX had put 2 damage counters once during your turn.
Okay.
That card was really good. Now think about it. Forest of Giant Plants was also in the format for a time being. Sean, do you know that card?
It's a card for grass type guy dudes.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Forest of Giant Plants is one of the most broken stadiums ever printed. You just lay that puppy down, and all your grass Pokemon can evolve whenever you want, however you want. Well, not however you want, but whenever you want. You just slap it down first turn of the game. I believe you can use Forest of Giant Plants to just go ahead and evolve it to turn 1 Vileplume item lock, or turn 1 Decidueye GX Ping. It's a very, very good card that made Decidueye very, very good. So obviously this is nerfed a little bit in that sense, to where it doesn't have that like specific thing. But I still think quick shooting could be pretty decent, because you get like 2 of those. That's 4 damage counters out on the field that you can do. And think about how many times, people use Zigzagoons for extra pings. Now we're putting it into Inteleons, and you can pair this up with like the trainer Drizzile. You can pair it up with the trainer Drizzile to like grab a trainer for the turn.
Yeah.
Seems pretty all right.
And I know that there's the I don't know if it's only in Evolving Skies or if it comes out. I think it's in Evolving Skies. The water bottle dude that helps with evolution types. The water
I think
bottle,
I know what you're talking about.
The G Fuel trainer. So that item card.
Yeah, that thing. I forget what it says, but I remember reading it. Oh, it was like something about evolving and your turn ends, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I remember
yes.
I tweeted about it. I was like, "This is broken." Like what?
Yeah, I mean, especially for something like Altaria, right? You can
Hmm.
evolve into Altaria turn 1 and your turn ends, but now you've just got a wall. That's pretty gross.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that's pretty gnarly. I
but
also want to think about the validity of Pissimian in like Rapid Strike decks. So I'm trying to do the math. So you do 120 with Rapid Strike Flow, 150 with Throwing Coach,
mhm.
and then 180 with
Yes.
Telescopic Sight. And so now you knock out Crobat Vs. I'm wondering if that's too much of a wombo combo to be able to hit that.
I don't
But
think so. You just search out Pissimian with a quick ball and you get
yeah, I mean, there's a good chunk of Pokemon search in the format in terms of like Pokecoms. People are playing Pokecoms all the time right now. You like you said, you got quick balls, great balls, Pokeballs, if you really want to. Um, and then Cresselia, I like how man, I'm talking about these pre-release promos way more than I thought. Photon Laser, it's 2 energy and it's damage, base damage plus more if you have certain amount of energies. I think that this is nicely like nerfed in a
yeah.
sense because they know that Shadow Rider Calyrex is coming in this set, and I think they know that Shadow Rider Calyrex is going to be good,
Mhm.
right? So 5 energies on turn 2, if you're accelerating 3 of them and have already attached 1 to Cresselia, is easy. So like getting that 120 damage is pretty nice.
Well,
It's 10 more damage than Volcanion.
I was going to
It's
say,
1 more energy too.
it is one more energy, which I don't think is that big of a deal, but yeah, um I think
You
what's
don't even
interesting
I mean like to even get out like 5 energies, you don't even need to use Crescent Glow. That's the thing.
not with Shadow Rider, you're right. Like, but the one thing I would say is they seem to have learned from their, I'm going to call it a mistake because they've chosen to change this, which is if you think about Volcanion doing 110, but
Mhm.
Volcanions themselves were 120 HP.
Oh yeah.
So this, I think they've made it 120 so that a Cresselia can knock out a Cresselia. Whereas, you know, if
Yeah.
you were in those welder matches and you had Volk v Volk, it was just this awkward, like,
Yeah,
uh,
it was like playing Greenzard before like Zigzagoon or the Sword and Shield sets were out. Like
right.
playing Greenzard and you're in this like chess match. You're like, all right, both of our Volcanions have 110 HP. Now what?
Right. So I do think that I think it's funny that they have upped this to 120. I think that's a literal response to the weird Volcanion v Volcanion situations that used to come up.
It's also nice because now Volcanion also doesn't knock out Cresselia.
That's true. That's true. They basically are saying, hey, for a small amount of time, there'll be Volcanion and Cresselia decks. But clearly, Cresselia is the superior Volcanion now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
probably it will end up being that. I think it probably will end up being that for a small time.
Yeah.
Mostly because it can knock out a Volcanion.
Yeah. In terms of other news, before we get into meta stuff, Jake, this is not. It's like it's like smallest amount of news, but you know what? If
I
YouTube
didn't hear anybody like talking about this. I'm gonna be honest.
really, okay, I think
It is
I
a small amount of news, like you said, but like you would think that Pokemon TCG's 25th anniversary, featuring unusual booster packs, according to PokeBeach.com, you would think that like a lot more people would be talking about this. I feel like, Sean.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so we got some news. I think maybe the reason people haven't talked about it is because they don't think there's enough to talk about. But YouTube channels will make news out of anything. They will make news out of not news. Pokemon didn't announce X. Okay, here's Jake is pointing to himself for the listeners.
Pokemon never made Pokemon Z. All right, yeah,
Right.
YouTube video right here, right here.
But
But
yeah, what is the news here, Jake?
so the 25 anniversary products are just right around the corner. We found out about some of the stuff for the special October set. This is going to be more of like products that you will be able to find and like kind of what the products entail, but they're coming in with unusual booster packs, which are mini booster packs. They come with 4 cards, so it's almost like the cereal promo packs or the McDonald's promo
It's
packs,
like a
where they only
Japanese
come with
pack.
like a couple of them. but every 25th anniversary product is going to come with regular packs. So, I mean, it's got minis and regulars, which will be very, very interesting. So, if we look down to the bullet points, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a list of things about different products. You get a giant figure collection. I'm wondering if this is like the special box. Sean, do you remember the box where it had like
The
when Sword and
Rayquaza?
Shield first came out? It was like Galar Heroes or something like that.
Oh, I don't
It
think.
was like a promo of
Yeah.
Pikachu, Scorbunny, Grookey, and Sobble all on the same
The
card, and it came with like a little figure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, I guess those like minifigs. Like, yeah, they've had sets that come with a small minifig, but this one says giant. And this actually reminds me more of, do you remember
Well, I don't
for
know what it refers to like giant. Like how big are we talking?
well, do you know
You
the
got to fit it in a box.
well, actually, do you know the Hidden Fates ones, right? That had the Rayquaza.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of people don't remember that there was a lot of packaging issues with those. Like the Rayquazas would come broken. It was just because it was a very heavy piece of plastic surrounded by thin plastic and paper.
Mm-hmm.
When it would get shipped, a lot of them would get jostled a little bit. So, but I think that's what they are referencing a bit. Like if you have something in your head, I think that the Pikachu will probably be some little 25th anniversary commemorative figure that features Pikachu
Yeah.
prominently, and it'll probably be, I'm making a shape with my hands, but like imagine like water bottle sized. That would not surprise me.
That's a really interesting thought. I completely forgot about the Rayquaza figures from Hidden Fates. That's a good point. It'll come with 9 25th anniversary mini booster packs, 3 normal booster packs of the set, 1 V promo, 1 V Max promo, and a giant Pikachu figure. This almost sounds like a Pikachu V Max, Sean, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, you'd think that, if you're going to give me a Pikachu figure, it would be really weird not to give me a Pikachu promo in VMAX.
It also, though, I could also see it being something else because there is a specific 25th anniversary Pikachu V box, which comes with 4 mini booster packs, 2 normal booster packs, a Pikachu V promo, and a Pikachu V jumbo. We already have Pikachu V jumbos. Like, is this going to be
a different one?
We have like 3 Pikachu V arts, and they're like all the same Pikachu. So I wonder if this is going to be the same Pikachu V that we've seen in terms of like playability, just a different art and maybe a 25th anniversary stamp, or if this is going to be a completely unique Pikachu. I hope it's a unique Pikachu.
I mean, I hope it's unique too. It would feel really underwhelming to reprint with a stamp, right? For your big 25th anniversary set. There's going to be an Elite Trainer box as well. So, prepare your wallets once again for the Elite Trainer box special set hype. Oh, God.
It comes with 10 minis, 5 regular boosters, a promo card. This is nice. I love it when they put the promo cards in, Sean. Hidden Fates did it. We got Shining Fates that did it. Now we got the 25th anniversary set doing it. What's the Pokemon on the 25th anniversary set promo?
If I had to guess, they already have Vivid Voltage had a Pikachu on it. My gut is going to tell me that it is going to be it might be a starter set theme. Like, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and Pikachu sort of all together on the box. I don't know what the promo card would be then. That's where it gets weird,
Pikachu
right?
VMAX.
You think
Pikachu VMAX alternate art?
It could be, but I mean, what's the promo V and VMAX? Oh, it's so weird.
Look, it could be all Pikachu, Sean.
It could.
This
could
is
just be
the
all
25th
Pikachu.
anniversary set.
Yeah.
Like it could be Pikachu's the face of the franchise. Aside from Charizard.
I guess they could make it like the 25th anniversary stuff they're already making with like the Pikachu silhouette with the 2 and the 5. I guess the box could look like that too.
Yeah, I think that's what the box is going to be. It's just going to be like the 25th anniversary logo because I'm pretty sure for the 20th anniversary for Generations, I'm pretty sure that was just the Pikachu 20 logo.
Yeah.
Sean and I weren't collecting or playing during that time, but I'm pretty sure I've looked and that's what that is.
Yeah.
But There's a lot of other stuff coming. Collector's chest, 6 mini boosters, 2 regular boosters, 3 promo cards, stickers, notepads, mini portfolio, pin boxes coming with 4, 2 promos. I like how these have 2 promos. Both like the collector's chest had 3 promos. The pin boxes have 2 promos, and a pin. And then the mini tins have no promos in it. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, but you get the coin, right? The metallic coin.
Sure. What is it going to be? The same Greninja coin or whatever, or Zoroark, or what's the coin that's been in like all the products? I'm blanking on it. I just put my coins away. I had like a stack of them.
There's a lot of Mew coins that have been in a bunch of products in the mini tins recently. Yeah, I don't know. My main thought here, though, Jake, is the weirdest thing is this idea of a mini set. Like there will be some sort of set of cards that are not released in any of the mainline sets. I can't imagine these cards will have much playability because Pokemon knows that sets like that can't be too playable because it's not really fair, quote unquote. So, but I think that needs to be more hype than the McDonald's or the General Mills sets in that it can't just be basic looking cards with some cool hollow pattern. So like, what's the in between here? Like how many cards are there going to be? Like, is it I think every pack probably is going to have a hollow or higher in it as a mini pack. But like, we haven't seen anything announced in Japan, like any kind of cards announced in Japan that would eventually come in this mini set. So it's a weird one. I think it's a weird one. Like I have no idea what they're going to fill this set with. If it's like, net new artwork, which I would assume, or if it's just because, people are going to want to buy this stuff because it's 25th anniversary, but they're not going to be as interested if it's more like a General Mills style thing. I don't know. It's
Evolution or Evolutions 2.0.
I mean, it could be. It could be like literally
reprinting the old cards and just slapping them in. Easy.
I mean, it could. I would worry, though, if they did like a pure art reprint of these cards, it would have to be, I think, maybe it's like a legendary collection kind of thing, where not like the holofoil pattern, but legendary collection in that it is a reprint, but they do something a little bit different with the reprint. Like, imagine if they took the original Charizard and do what Instagrammers and TikTokers are doing, and you know how people blow up the artwork to be a full art version of that same Charizard?
Yes.
Imagine if they did some sort of a full art holo of the original artworks that are like these iconic pieces of like Pokemon lore. Like that could get people pretty hype.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea, actually. I think that would be cool. I just lost my train of thought. Anyways, I think it's also really cool. So like the Elite Trainer box during holiday sets, we usually get like 10 packs. Sean, this one is coming with like 5 regular packs, which people may think, wow. But I like how they like offset it almost with like 10 mini booster packs. I think that's kind of cool. The Pikachu V boxes in the past, because this isn't going to be the first Pikachu V box that we've ever had, that had 4 packs in it. And so this kind of is getting like 6 packs.
Yeah.
With the 4 minis. I think there's like a really, looking at these products, there's like a really good balance between keeping the products the same amount as they usually would be. So I feel like they're going to be similar prices in terms of like normal, if you find this at like a retailer or something like that, maybe not a card shop. Card shop's probably going to cost a little bit more because 25th anniversary, but I think there's just a good balance between like mini packs and regular packs to keep the products like the same as it normally would be.
My question, Jake, is what kind of retailer is going to carry products for Pokemon anytime soon?
I'm pretty sure like, isn't like Target and Walmart like back carrying Pokemon products again?
Maybe.
On shelves?
I haven't, I mean, maybe they are. I haven't gone to Target or Walmart in a minute. So
I haven't gone to one either, but I thought I heard someone say like they're already back putting it on shelves, but maybe it was just like Maybe it's just some areas just wanted to get rid of their inventory of it.
Now, what I will say is, have you noticed that the prices for a lot of modern has come down quite a bit in the last week or two?
Yeah, I've seen that like Battle Styles booster boxes are like 120 and under
Yep.
instead of like 140,
My,
150.
the company I worked with briefly, Channel Fireball, was selling them for 100. So I'm like, that's almost back to normal. And Shining Fates ETBs, I've seen people selling them for $70, $65 on TCG Player, which is almost down to MSRP. So maybe, the increased print production from Pokemon mixed with this sort of like all the flood of product and scalpers is now finally dying down. And maybe that means these 25th anniversary sets, they'll be hype, but hopefully they won't be as ridiculous as Champions Path especially was, even though it was a bad set.
Yeah, holy moly.
Like,
Champions Path is what everything caught on fire for. And that set sucked.
And I'm excited. I'm excited because it feels like we're finally getting to a place where cards are, sealed product in maybe the next month or two might be maybe not back at $80 a box, but maybe at 100. I think $100 a box is very reasonable. So
I mean, I would love to go back to $100 a box, just like the glory days. I mean, I remember paying like 80, 88, but I'll take 100. I'll take 100 in a heartbeat, Sean.
Do you want to transition over to meta, Jake?
Sure. Every so often we talk about the meta, and in the middle of one, this one is still somewhat developing. We've seen decks go up and down and up and down. We are going to be looking at this Sunday Open that happened just the other week with Atlas Collectibles. Pikarom and Victini tied between the two best shares in the event, but Pikarom having one of the best win percentages in a deck that had more than 3 people playing it. Pikarom having a 55.5% win percentage. Sean, Pikarom is still arguably the BDIF. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I can't argue with it. It's just, it is good, the end. I
mean, it did win the event and take 2 of the top 4 spots, I will say.
And, I'm also looking at Trainer Hill right now, just some of that data. And in terms of top decks by placement, Pikarom is also at the top, and Victini is all the way down at number 6 now. And the interesting thing that you actually see is it feels like Galerion Rapidash Victini, so that combo we talked about last week, has, inadvertently catapulted GX heavy decks, tag teams back to the top. Because if you think about it, like, okay, I can Galerion Rapidash leave you at 100. And then, Victini then can come in and clean up with 100, damage. But all they need is a big charm. And then all of a sudden, you can't Oko
then
them.
Victini can't do anything unless they have Heatran.
Exactly. And Victini might play Heatran. It may play Charizard. And there are kind of ways around it. But I played in my team challenge, and my first matchup was against Mewtwo Rillaboom. And that is an atrocious matchup. You see what I did there? That is an that is an awful matchup for Victini Galarian Rapidash, even though you think, you're fire type, right? Well, if they get a weakness guard energy, on, or if they're playing, primarily with the Mewtwo, they're healing themselves 30 damage whenever they attack. And then they'll shuffle all the energy back in at one point, doing 200. 200 is enough to Oko Heatran and Galarian Rapidash. It's just, yeah, man. And they play a lot of Mallow and Lana. So we also saw Mewtwo and Rillaboom is actually sitting at 4th place in the top decks by placement, according to Trainer Hill. So
yeah, I think we talked about, I think I briefly mentioned last week that Mewtwo Rillaboom was doing a lot better. I think, yeah, you're right. It's just the popularity of like these Victini decks and the popularity still of Pikarom. There's a lot of switching outs in Mewtwo Rillaboom and a little bit of healing that happens a lot. So you just eventually like out heal.
Yeah.
You know, if Tempo Zard and Green Zard is not being like the number one deck played, you know, Mewtwo Rillaboom I feel like thrives in that scenario.
And then another deck that, is doing well is that Tempozard, right? Blacephalon Reshazard is Tempozard.
Yeah.
I mean, that also does well because what is Galerion Rapidash doing in that matchup, right? I mean, yeah, you get Zard.
Absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
you get Zard down, but then they go and throw like I said, a big charm on it, and then you're kind of screwed. I think the only matchup, honestly, in that top tier, there's only two matchups that maybe you have a better time against, and that's Eternatus and maybe Luke Metal Zacian. But
I think Luke Metal is fine because like you're knocking out the Zacians.
Yes.
And then you can pressure enough to where that you could probably take out Luke Metal. The only struggle that I think you have is Zamazenta, which if you're a welder deck, I feel like you're probably playing Eldegoss V, like one copy, and so then you can like put a Phoebe in there, honestly, and I think you're fine. I mean, Victini VMAX doesn't even need 4 welder.
You're right. It doesn't because you can just manually attach, and if you're using
and Heatran,
and if you could also play around with EXP shares and stuff like that to also help you a bit. But yeah, like again back to Trainer Hill, Victini was still the most played deck at 189 instances versus Pikaram's 177. So anybody who picked these tag team heavy decks with big charms or healing and Mewtwo Rillaboom, like clearly that was the right call in a Galarian Rapidash Victini meta.
Sean, can we look at the standings real quick of that event?
Yeah. Do you want to go to so overall, here's the winners.
Yeah, so Pikaram taking 2 of those top 4 spots, like I mentioned. You got a Mew and Mewtwo in there, Zacian ADP, blah, whatever. You have Munchlax, Shintaro Ito, Sean playing that Munchlax control over there in the top 5. Absolutely love Sanders' ideas and just absolute wonderful. This is more Altaria Munchlax control, where you play more heavy Altaria line to try to just wall out, and 2 Absols as well. I don't think Sander for the most part was playing Absol or Tool Jammer or like Big Parasol or even Bruno and Opal. Like those are 3 spicy cards in that deck, Brunos and Opals. But I mean, you need draw support, and then Opal's pretty good if you can hit heads, right?
Right. Yeah. So, I guess. Yeah.
Surprisingly, no Lieutenant Surge in this list. Like I'm wondering. I mean, this deck has like 2 types of win conditions, right? This deck has the win condition of I'm just going to beat you with Altaria, or I'm going to deck you out.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the reason. Maybe the whole idea and concept of this deck is to just go Altaria right away from the beginning, almost every single time, and just like use the muck and whatnot to just not let your opponent do anything. And your goal is to take 6 prizes, you know.
I don't know. I don't know if 6 prizes actually you care, because I think if you wanted to ensure you could win by taking prizes, you'd put 2 recycle energies in. That way you never run out of energy, because, Giratina is pretty well played. And you're also playing Wondrous Labyrinth. So I think you can run into problems where, like, if they're able to get through a couple of Mons, discard some energy off your Altarias, you may not have 2 energy at some point late game. So I think you could win with Speed Dive over time. But yeah, I think your goal is ultimately to knock your opponents to deck out your opponent still.
Yeah, and with Tool Jammer, I think it's a very creative list. I think it's really, really cool.
Well, they have Tool Jammer and Tool Scrapper. Pretty gross.
Yeah, Tool Jammer is pretty gnarly. I know Eternatus is playing like Tool Jammers and EXP shares as of right now, to try to help with certain matchups. And that Tool Jammer, I mean, Victini VMAX was playing it too. I think Celios was like one of the first people that I saw play Tool Jammer and Victini, and
Yeah.
it's got something. I mean, people are not playing Tool Scrapper a lot of times in this format unless you're a control deck. That's all I'm saying.
Well, in the Tool Jammer play here, it's nice because, again, it turns off those giant charms, those big charms. So, like we were just talking about with Victini, like if they slap a big charm on and you don't have a response, yeah, it's, I don't know. This is an interesting list. I'm not a control player. I know you much more so play control.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I play control. I don't know if I
had-
say that I'm a control player.
Fair.
I feel like, I don't know. I heard this like interesting conversation that we can talk about another time is like putting play styles on yourself or like labeling yourself as a player. Like, I am a control player. Like, there's a difference between like liking control and like there's obviously formats where control is not favored, which is why I've been playing more single strike lately, you know?
Yeah.
And like before battle styles, you know, or vivid voltage or whatever, I was playing not control. So it's like, I don't know. It's a very interesting thought. Anyways.
I mean, I think we could label Sander as a control player. If anyone,
Oh
you
yeah,
could
that's like
label-
the only person in the world that I would label as a control player is Sander. That's it. The
Mhm.
dude got like 140 rep in Players Cup with control. Like, what is this human?
I mean,
What is this
that's
human being?
I will say too, that's commitment to play control in Players Cup quals when like I have 50 keys to go through. Let me make this as long as possible.
Yeah, like, yeah, man. Kudos to Sander. I did not finish my 50 keys.
So, Jake, do you want to talk about? I think our last thing was like, okay, if Victini Galerion Rapidash is, to be frank, easily counterable from the perspective of like healing or tag teams where you're doing max 100 damage with the Victini, what other partners would you pair up with Galerion Rapidash? If any, you know, are viable, what would you pair up with it?
I thought one of the first things that I thought of the Togekiss Bronzong build, and I thought a little bit like that. 'Cause, you know, Togekiss doesn't do a lot of damage. And so in that Togekiss Bronzong, like cheeky rogue build that you're running around, if you put a Galarian Rapidash in there, you know, you can still move the metal energies over to the Galarian Rapidash, put 100 on it, and then boom, Togekiss VMAX can just knock it out. You don't need the powerful energies. You don't need any other sort of damage modifiers. You may need something like a Tool Scrapper, because like you said, big charms and maybe a Tina Nets build because of like the whatchamacallit, the heat energy, the fiery hot heat energy thing.
Yeah.
But that was like one of the first things that I thought of because I was like, you need some sort of like acceleration to it. And I was like, if it's not Welder, there are a couple different pairings that you could do. But the first thing that I thought of was like, it could work well with Togekiss.
I like that. I didn't even think of that. Like, and you could also play the powerful energies as like additional energy types to give yourself that extra boost over. And the nice thing about Togekiss is because you can like search your deck for cards as part of its attack. You know, I feel like there's maybe a little bit less Marnie running around. There's still a lot, but it's not as, I don't know. So you might have some rough times earlier on, but you can get those reset stamps late game, right? Get those late game comebacks, reset stamp your opponent down to just a couple of energy. Yeah, I think the only thing you would have to do is make sure that you can grab some weakness cards for the Pikarom matchup right now. Because Togekiss is weak to lightning. But outside of that, I do like the combo.
It's an interesting thought that I don't think will go very far, to be honest.
All right.
I think you've just got too many pieces at that point that you need to fulfill. Like, what do you cut in a Togekiss Bronzong list to fit to Galarian Rapidash?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because you need like both the Togekiss and the Bronzong line plus the Galarian Rapidash. But I don't know. I mean, again, you could probably, you could maybe even run, you know, a light greens engine in there prior to getting the Bronzong out if you really wanted, or even Skyless. I don't know. I mean, I do like it conceptually. I think for me,
One thing I don't like conceptually, because I
Mhm,
think you're gonna say this,
mhm.
is Rillaboom.
Oh, no, I
I
wasn't gonna say
don't
Rillaboom.
like it with Rillaboom.
No. I think,
Someone may think with energy acceleration, oh yeah, Rillaboom's a good idea. I don't really think so. Because turn one, you have to get off super growth.
yeah.
And so like what are you gonna do? Turn one super growth and then turn two like Galerion Rapidash? Like I feel like you'd just be too far behind in the game at that point.
No, I don't think Rillaboom is really makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to think about low energy attackers that do more than 100 base. That for me is like the
That is
concept
few
to
and far
riff off.
between, Sean.
Well, if you think about it, I do think Colossal VMAX is actually not a bad partner. If you think about its first attack for 1 energy, you can do what? What is that? Up to 130
I think
damage?
it's 120.
It's something like that. I think yeah, it's something like 120 or I think
I
90
think
plus
it's
40.
30 plus 90.
Okay, so it's 130. And
Yeah.
130 is exactly what you'd need if they have a big charm. So
I think it's 120.
I think it's 130. I'm almost positive it's 130.
You know what,
Let's
Sean?
look this up. Let's look it up. Hold on.
Colossal VMAX. I'm
Let me
like, how do
see.
you
I'm
spell
looking this up.
colossal?
Yeah, it's 40 plus 90. It's 130, my
Oh,
dude.
it's 40 and 90. I thought it was 30,
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
I said 30, 90, and then you said, oh, yeah, 130. And I was like, math.
No. So it does
Like
do one.
30 plus 90 at least is 120.
It does do 130. So I think Colossal VMAX is interesting because, you can put on EXP shares. You can run the Cheryls that can do all that healing. I think there are ways to make that work. The other one for me is actually Rapid Strike Urshifu, but not using its second attack at all. So you just use the first attack where if it comes from the bench, it does, 150?
Yeah, only using Gale Thrust.
Yeah. So, like, if you just use Gale Thrust, and like we talked about, again, using Cheryl, because I think the way that you would counter Victini Galerion Rapidash is being able to heal, like we said. And so, like, say you're up against another Galerion Rapidash, they put your Urshifu V or VMAX, whatever it is, to, 100 HP. And then you can just Cheryl it because you don't have any energy on it. You don't need it. You put 1 energy on. You go from the bench after you've done it. You do 150. I think it's a little bit more combo intensive in that 150 alone is not enough to KO a decent number of straight Vs. Like the reason Victini VMAX is a good partner is because even if you don't get the damage counters on, you can still Oko Zacians, right? Which you can't really do in the Urshifu deck. But I do think that the notion of like just relying on single energy attacks outside of Galerion Rapidash, which just needs 2, I don't know. I think there's something to that. I don't know exactly how you would build that list, but I think if anybody out there is looking for other partners, that is the logic that I would go with until Chilling Reign comes out in a couple of weeks. And in which case, I think once Chilling Reign comes out with Cresselia,
Shadow Calyrex Rider.
right. Or Galerion Rapidash Trevnor.
Yeah.
Filthy. That's a filthy deck.
I mean, let's think about Trevnor real quick. Trevnor will still have Green's Exploration. Trevnor will have the Cresselia. Trevnor will have still its really like Reset Stamp Marnie. Trevnor will have Path to the Peak. Like,
yeah, I think Trevnor is potentially set to be really in a good position, and I think it pairs well with Galerion Rapidash in certain instances, like early game. And I don't know. I think that could be good, but not right now. You need too much energy on the board for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking like with Galerion Rapidash, like I don't see how Galerion Rapidash is good unless you literally put it on the field, get the 2 energies on it, and then use the attack. I don't see it as something like you have to do multiple turns to power it up. I don't see that. I think that's bad. Even in like a Shadow Calyrex Rider, I know that I said pair it up with that, but if you think about it, like with Shadow Calyrex Rider, turn 1, you want a Cresselia,
Yeah,
right? It's going to be
that's
like
true.
Greenzard, where you just have a 4 of Cresselia in there. And then, like, maybe you have a Galerion Rapidash to where, like, okay, maybe I can't find a Shadow Calyrex Rider V. You know, I can put this Rapidash down, and I can start setting up damage at least. You know.
I mean, I guess what you could do is you could also give Cresselia, like, say you go first, you do Cresselia, you put 3 energy on board, you give the Galerion Rapidash EXP share, so that when the Cresselia gets knocked out, the energy goes to Galerion Rapidash. You could also run things like Energy Switch in those decks, just to like switch one of that extra energy over to the Galerion Rapidash if you want. I see your point though, like, because you probably want to get the Trevnor's attack off as soon as possible to start hand locking.
Yeah, like there's no point, in my opinion. Like, I feel like Trevnor's attack is way too valuable to just spend time doing the Cresselia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a waste of time and
That's
resources trying to get that pulled up. I mean, when you posed that idea, I started thinking about things that had energy acceleration. I thought about like Pikarom.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, you've got energy Tapu Koko like in the format, like maybe there's a world where that is, but then I was trying to think of a scenario where you wouldn't want to turn 1 Boltund, and I was like, you like almost always want to turn 1 Boltund.
Yeah.
So I was like, why would you ever steer away from that? Like turn 1 Boltund, turn 2 Rapidash, and I was like, that sounds bad.
No, that's fair.
And then
that's fair.
Yeah, that's how I got like that thought.
No, I think that's absolutely fair. Well, you know, anybody out there, if you want to tweet at us who you would pair Galerion Rapidash with, or write that in the review. Write a review.
Get your Trevnors on PTCGO now.
Yes. Get Trevnor now. I think it will be a very powerful deck while it's still standard legal. So
I want to know what everybody's favorite evolution is in terms of the cards in the evolution set, because holy moly, Sean, those cards were awesome.
I do wish that there was a better Jolteon VMAX alternate art. I'm not saying one. I like Jolteon. But yeah, I would agree with you. Personally, Umbreon, because there's a pincer in there too. There's a couple of pincers in there.
Yeah, the pincer's like, oh my god. Like we remember Pincer GX is very generic, like thing from Hidden Fates. And like there's Pincer, there's Grimmsnarl in there, like
can I point
the
out,
whole
Jake,
shebang.
Can I point something out?
Yes.
On the Umbreon V card, this is before we go. Last thought. The darkness symbol here looks like Pincer's eye. Is that just me?
It looks
like
I would
Pincer's
say
looking at the camera.
it kind of resembles a Pincer with like the horns.
Well, no, this is a Pincer. This horn here, I'm almost positive it's Pincer. But the darkness symbol placement here, it looks like Pincer
you think
is looking.
Where it's placed, it almost looks like an eye. Oh god, now we can't unsee it.
Now you can't unsee it, Jake.
Now everybody watching on YouTube can't unsee this. Right? You're gonna get this card as a single, and you're gonna be like, ah, shoot, Sean.
Pincer staring right at me. All right, that's all I got, Jake. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Metapod, the Pokemon TCG podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. Leave us some 5-star reviews. Running out of reviews on the podcast. Should have said this earlier, but leave a 5-star review. Leave a YouTube comment as well, if you want us to mention the YouTube comment as well. And Sean still in light mode for everything.
Yep.
Blasting his eyeballs.
I'm never gonna change. I wake up and I'm just like, give me all the light mode.
Give me all of the light mode. Oh God! Happy Pride Month. Make sure to support people of the LGBTQ community, and have a great rest of the day.
Deuces.